To this day.
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 Your character concerning intestinal fortitude on do you really want this or not? And I believe they woke up them things, and we'll see. We'll see. You know, I know what I believe. What I believe is he's going to knock Zhang out. You know what I mean? And it's something I'm looking forward to, but I'm also looking forward to getting back to training because that's what I enjoy the most. Being in camp, watching film, you know what I mean, drinking my coffee, going to the gym, training guys, you know, I'm that.
If and when Deontay gets the win over Zhang, that could open windows, open doors to future opportunities. We know that Anthony Joshua fight has been mentioned so many times over the year. Is that still a realistic possibility, do you feel?
Absolutely, especially if he do to Zhang what I believe he can do. I believe that fight is just as big as it was before.
With Anthony Joshua's rise as well, and the way he's come back in the last couple of fights against Ngannou, against Wallin, is that fight bigger than ever?
Him and Deontay? Absolutely, especially, but the job got to get done June 1st. It's very hard for me to think about an Anthony Joshua fight when we're coming off a loss and now we fighting another very dangerous heavyweight like Zhang. Very hard. I'm not thinking about AJ right now. I'm thinking about Zhang. So if I'm not answering the question, it's good because I think about Zhang every day since this fight was made. He's in my sleep. When I wake up, I'm thinking about him. When I look at TV, I'm film studying him. Like, you know what I mean? This dude, he's real pain in my ass, man. Pain in my ass, and we got to get rid of him because he's a pain in my ass, man. This trainer is a pain in my ass because he's a good trainer.
Those are the words of Malik Scott as he avoids, turns down, cuts off the idea, the comments, the questions of fighting Anthony Joshua now. And let me counterpunch. I love it. I absolutely love the mindset of Malik Scott. Why? Because every fighter, along with trainer, needs to have that approach when it comes to boxing, when it comes to their job, when it comes to fulfilling a task of getting a fight done and focusing on a particular fight. Okay? Your boxing career versus the fight-by-fight basis are two different things. Two, okay? If you cater to interviewers or you give an interviewer so much energy about a certain fighter and you take your mindset off of that fighter, it's always taboo. Every single time, okay? Because that trainer's job is to train that fighter. That fighter's job is to fight their opponent. Okay, so a trainer's focus is just as important as a boxer's focus. Okay? Understand that. Because what Malik Scott's doing is, I call it the old precisive, concentrated mindset of Floyd, Money Mayweather. Because Floyd will tell you quick, we're not going to talk about Anthony Joshua right now. We're talking about Zhang. We got to talk about Anthony Joshua. That's not our opponent in front of me. So we're going to talk about the opponent in front of me. The opponent in front of me is Zhang. Big bang. Right? And that's exactly what Malik Scott did. Because what people learn, and this goes for AJ, it goes for Tyson, it goes for anybody that sits there and puts too much energy into a fighter that's not right there in front of them. Everyone learns that lesson. Everyone. I mean, if you look at the series and the history of someone talking about a potential fight, let's go way back to the 90s. Let's take Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, probably one of the best defensive fighters of all time. You know, he's definitely one of the all-time greats. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker was bombarded with all of these questions, with about Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya. When's this fight going to happen? Do you think you can beat him? And this, that, and the other. And that's all he did was spend time talking about Oscar De La Hoya. Well, he had a fight before Oscar De La Hoya, and his name was a Cuban fighter by the name he just defected, named Diobales Hurtado. Diobales Hurtado was a tall, fast, quick, awkward fighter. And he put Pernell Whitaker down 2 or 3 times in that fight. Pernell Whitaker was on his way to losing that fight until he caught him, I think it was in the 11th round, and knocked him out. Okay? Because he had to. But that was some pressure, but I'll know. And you can't tell me that didn't come from all that concentrated questions and that energy that was wasted on him talking about Oscar De La Hoya and discussing Oscar De La Hoya and not Diobales Hurtado. Same thing goes for Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder does need to beat Zhang Zhang before talking about any Anthony Joshua fight. Anthony Joshua won his last 2 fights. Deontay Wilder has only fought once in the last 6 months. Okay, so there you go. And he lost that. He needs to focus on this fight and this fight alone. Okay, because Sean George is a good trainer. And he should be a pain in Malik Scott's ass, because Malik Scott knows that. He knows, like, wait a minute. Their game plan is going to be precise. Their game plan is going to be, very calculated. And they know that. And they know this is no small fry, especially the first 6 rounds. And I'll talk about that in another interview. However, Malik Scott just stopping the talks of AJ, it was a great plan, and it was the right approach, simply because it's not necessary. Why are you talking about Anthony Joshua right now? We're not talking about anything. Let's stay focused on what I'm telling you, because I'm staying focused on what I'm trying to bring Deontay Wilder through.
Bars.
But no, good approach, great response from Malik Scott. You guys tell me what you think of Malik Scott rejecting the idea of fighting Anthony Joshua. Now, of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.